Yesterday, Professor Wajackoyah launched his manifesto, and allow me to say that he disappointed a lot of Kenyans who are waiting to hear what this great professor with all these degrees and masters and PhDs had to present to the countrymen on the way forward. After he sold the conmanship of how marijuana, snakes, and other less important things that he said just to attract attention would change the country and how the country is sinking into economic crisis. And Wajackoyah, instead of presenting himself with realistic ideas on how he can change the country, chose not to do that, but to explain to Kenyans on why he is a project of Raila Odinga and show them how being a project of Raila Odinga is more important than the problems that the country is having. And I know some of you may disagree with me, but I would like to interrogate some issues on the planning of that event, the content of that event, and the conclusion of that event. And therefore, at the end of it all, you will decide yourself on whether or not Wajackoyah is interested to become the president, or whether he is interested to make Raila the president and stop William Ruto, or whether he's just here to waste your time and cloud chase for some time, and then after all, you will have your choice to make. First of all, the making and the planning of that event on that particular day at that particular time was indeed planned to divert or to drive a certain agenda. And that agenda was to divert the attention of the people from interrogating and speaking about what William Ruto was saying, but to concentrate with the jokes and the conmanship and the drama that Wajackoyah was causing on that stage. You'll agree with me if you consider 1, the place, 2, the time, 3, the media coverage. You'd realize that after William Ruto immediately finished the content of his manifesto, then all the media, including and led by K24, Royal Media Services, and Nation Media, then switched from when William Ruto finished, is immediately, almost at the same time he said the last word, immediately then Wajackoyah said his first word. That tells you that there was no time for the journalists in those medias to interrogate or to explain to Kenyans in layman language or in a simple language or in simplified points about the major positions that the deputy president was taking and what the content of that manifesto was. That was completely ignored, and it was not just a deliberate coincidence. It was a planned thing, and that was planned by the opponents of the deputy president, William Ruto. So the attention on the content of William Ruto's manifesto was shifted to what Wajackoyah was presenting. Now, something important you need to note from the time Wajackoyah started. And when Wajackoyah started, instead of presenting himself as his manifesto in a serious, well-explained points, he just simplified the points into one page that he was not even understanding. If you have gone through the manifesto for Wajackoyah, then you understand that this guy does not even understand well about his manifesto, because 1, if you really understood your manifesto, Professor Wajackoyah, then there was no reason or there was no point in him speaking, looking at the screens. Yani he was speaking like, where is point number 1? What is my point number 1? What is my manifesto number 1? That tells you he did not understand what he wanted. As a president, you don't understand what you want to do for the people, yet you're campaigning, you're launching a manifesto. That shows you how ignorant you are. So that clearly tells you that this is not a manifesto that he has written or prepared himself. This is something that has been prepared by someone else. And this someone else did not explain to Wajackoyah himself, because the comedy was, after Kenyans are speaking about snakes, after they are speaking about marijuana, after they are speaking about the hyena testicles, what is the content on how you intend to acquire, how you intend to acquire the raw materials, how you intend to take to get the land, how you intend to provide the labor, how you intend to cultivate or take care of the plant from the time of planting to the time of harvesting, but only tell us about the end result, the total of what the country will get. But you don't tell us how you're just interested at the result. What is the cost of getting that result? And now, when you think about that, then it comes clear that Wajackoyah is not even aware of what he wants to do for the country, take this or not. And number 2, when you look at what Wajackoyah presented and how he was attacking the opponent, first flashback, few days ago, Wajackoyah had visited Kisumu, and he actually told the people of Kisumu that if he's also one of them, he shares some values with the Luos. But if you don't elect me, please elect Raila Odinga as your president. That tells you that because you're a Luo and I'm a Luya, let me go and look for those votes from the Luya land. You just concentrate with your man Raila Odinga, who I am indirectly supporting. So that tells you that Wajackoyah is not interested with what the number of votes or the votes that belong, the bucket, Raila's bucket of votes, the votes that belongs to Raila. Wajackoyah is not interested. And to confirm that, go and repeat that video of Wajackoyah launching that manifesto. Wajackoyah told people that his manifesto is better than giving Kenyans a wheelbarrow ati kazi mtaani or kazi kwa vijana. You cannot graduate alafu upewe wheelbarrow. Now we all know who wheelbarrow is, whose manifesto and is whose icon, and who, when you mention wheelbarrow, you obviously mean William Ruto, that I am better than William Ruto. But nowhere, at no any point, did Wajackoyah attack Raila Odinga. As a matter of fact, you follow that video, and in the beginning, explaining on how Bangi will change the history and the economic status of the country, Wajackoyah gave an example of Nyeri. Now, take note, Nyeri. Nyeri is one of the Mount Kenyan bloc that is supporting the Deputy President William Ruto. And now you see, the people in that region are angry at the government, which William Ruto is part of. Although, for the purpose of this video, he may not be part of the government, but he is one of the people responsible, or who can be taken to be responsible for what the people of that county are going through. The main crops there is tea and coffee, which is no longer providing any income to the people of that county. So to provoke their anger, to provoke their shift and switching from William Ruto to another candidate, whoever it is, whether Wajackoyah or Raila Odinga, give them another option of a plant they can use to get millions. So again, the attention of voting for William Ruto has to be shifted from him and to someone else. But here, he did not tell them that if you don't elect me, then elect William Ruto, because he gave you a promise of 10-10. So Wajackoyah chose to fight William Ruto than to fight Raila Odinga. And to conclude, that is another aspect in which Wajackoyah proves that he is here not only to fight for the presidency, but to make Raila Odinga the next president by weakening William Ruto. And just as a bonus point, clearly, Wajackoyah and his whole manifesto is not interested with the elderly and people we say have it. The Wajackoyah's manifesto is not interested on the elderly, the people that are strongly believed to be supporting Raila Odinga, and the it, those who have something. Wajackoyah is more interested with the youths. Now, the young generation is said to be behind William Ruto by a larger margin compared to how they are behind Raila Odinga due to the Hustler Nation narrative. And now this Hustler Nation narrative has to be diverted by speaking about weed, speaking about such punitive laws that are related to some small issues, like kijana has entered into a relationship with a young lady, obviously, and now he is calling for consensus among the parents. So this is something that is affecting most youths, and Wajackoyah wants to attract their attention by telling them that here you are being treated unfairly, and ukivuta bangi you are being treated unfairly, ukipewa wheelbarrow you are being treated unfairly. So just to be shown you, as in not ukipewa bangi, forgive me for that, ukiambiwa ati ufungwe kwa sababu umevuta bangi, you are being treated unfairly. And so this is exciting a lot of youths in the country. And for that reason, most of the youths, if you listen to the ground, are seemingly turning their support from William Ruto to now Wajackoyah. And this is the focus. When you reduce the amount of votes in William Ruto's basket and does not affect the amount of votes in Raila Odinga's basket, then you cause an imbalance. After causing an imbalance, then obviously the basket that has been of a lesser weight belonging to Raila Odinga has now to if it remains constant, and the one that had a strong weight is being reduced, then you are trying to bring the two baskets to an equilibrium that seems to be forcing a rerun. And Wajackoyah seems to be succeeding in what he's doing. But after saying all those and proving to you that indeed Wajackoyah is a project that is meant to make Raila the president, you now need to settle down and see that the project has completely failed. And why I'm saying completely failed is something I will explain in the next episode. I will show you how Wajackoyah misused that time for launching his manifesto, and instead of delivering on what his masters wanted him to deliver, failed completely and did the opposite of their expectation. Instead of diverting attention towards how good he is to attract more votes, he attracted the attention of how he can make a good comedian than a politician. Now, this is politics. You needed to derive a political point from what Wajackoyah was saying. Instead of that, Kenyans are deriving a comic point from his manifesto. So, Wajackoyah is openly a project for Raila, by Raila, and about Raila Odinga. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Kim, and that is my explainer.